YouTube podcast world. What's up, family? You already know what it is. Pays and Plays podcast here. It is Good Friday, December 1st, the first of the month. Hope everybody doing well. You're probably getting them first of the month checks. If you know, you know. Hope everybody doing smooth, man. We're going to give you all the best bets for this week, man. We got a couple plays, pick your poison, NBA, college basketball, college football, NFL. We'll get right into it. We're going to make this quick, easy, and understandable. We ain't going to drag this forever, all right? We go to the NBA real quick. One play for the day. I love the Sixers plus 6.5. If you can find 7, that's even greater. They play Boston at Boston. Yes, it is a team that we know Boston is everyone raves about them, but I mean, I feel like Philly has had their flow thanks to Nick Nurse, good coaching. And we don't know the uncertainty with Porzingis and Holiday. I think Porzingis may not be playing, and if he's not playing, that's their best rim protector since they traded away Robert Williams, which I'm trying to tell you why it didn't make sense, but you know, it is what it is with that. MB should be playing. I think everybody should be playing as far as Philly. So I see it being a competitive game. And if Holiday doesn't play, then that really takes out the defense for that one. So for as far as NBA, as far as Friday, I would be going with Philly plus 6.5. Now let's go right to college basketball. We do have a couple plays that I am going to talk about real quick. We have let's talk about the one game that is interesting to me. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll talk about the underrated game people don't know about. Then we'll talk about a game that is going to be televised. George Washington plus 9.5. Yes, against South Carolina. Is that South Carolina? George Washington was a college team last year that I picked teams, whatever, like plus 8.5 going to Davidson. I believe they are in the A10 as well. They not only cover, but they won outright. There's times I picked this team over and over when they're big, huge spreads. South Carolina, man, listen, there's no more Gigi Jackson. You know, he was one and done, and now, yeah, South Carolina basketball is mid, just like the football team. I just see value at the plus 9.5. I wouldn't be shocked if this GW team actually makes a tournament bid in this season because the Atlantic 10 is wide open. Next one, now this is the one that is going to be the most biggest, I think, probably anticipated game this day. You got UConn going into Allen Fieldhouse in Kansas. I'm taking UConn, as crazy as that is, and I know people play at Kansas is tough. It's not an easy environment, but UConn has done one thing that I can say they've been doing. They've been battle tested. Not saying Kansas has it because they play Kentucky, but when you play Texas, Indiana, I mean, two solid respective programs, and not only that you win, but you blow them out double digits. And it was a neutral site, right? I think so. Them going to Allen Fieldhouse, Dan Hurley, man, I expect this game to be kind of slowed down because I know Kansas is more of an up-tempo team. I actually will lead to the under, but I believe the spread was +2 UConn. I'm just going to take them to win outright. I see value as an underdog. This team, even though you have a couple players that isn't there no more, what's homeboy name? Jordan, is it Jordan Hawkins? He's in New Orleans. We know about Andre Jackson. He's in Milwaukee, I believe. And then Spagano never got drafted, which is weird. I thought he was pretty solid, but they got size, man. And I know about Hunter Dickerson, everyone talks about, but let me tell you about what I remember him in his Michigan days. The one thing he can't do, he can't rebound. And this team, Kansas, yes, this team got out-rebounded by Eastern Illinois. Yeah, yeah. So what do you think of a team like UConn who has size, bigs, slow the game down? What do you think they can do, right? Like if KU starts going slow, that falls into UConn's hands. I'm gonna go with them with a slight upset because I love the value. Let's go to college football real briefly. Couple plays. Oklahoma State plus 14.5. I'm going with them against Texas. Yes, it's against Texas. It's against Texas. But I believe Coach Gundy will have a way to where he slows his game down. They got to run that ball with Gordon. They have to run that ball. They got Bowen as the quarterback. He's okay, but he's more of a 5-10 yard passer. He can rack up easy, possibly almost close to 300 yards against this Texas team. Possibly he could. And it's just what I said with Texas, man. I respect Quentin Ewers, but your best running back isn't playing now. He's out for the season. The defense gives up a lot of passing yards. I mean, hell, I can go there and be inaccurate and throw at least 4 or 5 passes, be explosive off them. But I see it being a competitive game. It is the last Big 12 matchup. We'll see with Oklahoma State and Texas. So I do think it is a little fiery for Mike Gundy. So with that being said, give me Oklahoma State in the plus 14.5. Next one, I am going with Boise State -2, -3, either or where you find it at. I will go with them. Yes, they play UNLV, and I believe it will be at Allegiant Stadium, right? I don't know. I believe that's where it will be at. Boise State, listen, man, this team has one of the best playmakers, man, on their offense, man. He can make dynamic plays. And UNLV, as much as I respect the offense, I don't really respect this defense because they haven't really played anybody defensively. I don't even think they played Boise State all year. In the Boise State, they run the ball, play defense, and make a couple of explosive players off the backfield. That's what this team do. The interim coach, I think he should be a head coach by the time they win this whole Mountain West championship. So I'm going to go with Boise State. Next one, I will be going with Alabama +6. Alabama +6. And then, yes, it's against Georgia. Yes, it's a home game at the Mercedes-Benz because it's in Atlanta. But what that mean? I mean, did we forget years ago that Bryce Young played the same school? And I know where I'm coming from. Now, this is a different team for Alabama, and you got to tip your hat off to Saban because this is probably one of his best coaching moments, probably since John Parker Wilson was his quarterback. That was what, 09? This is the first time you can say he doesn't have an elite quarterback, right? Tool gone, Hurts. Well, he was transferred, but Mac Jones, Bryce Young. So you had at least solid 4 quarterbacks for about 6 to 8 years. That's all gone. This is a whole new thing. Milroe is straight, but the thing that gets me with him is he could throw 10 yards and plus, but when it comes to like a 5-yard slant, he doesn't throw the ball. He can't throw the ball, but he does have instincts, man. So, I know Georgia is going to be tough. I think it goes down to a 3-point game and a field goal game, +6 for Alabama, and you giving Saban 6 points. That's a lot of points to me. I see more people been betting on Georgia. So if this number goes up to 7, even if you guys don't like Bama, you might have to take the +7 on that one. NFL. Now, I hope y'all watch. Matter of fact, speaking of NFL, check out the Week 13 video. Check out the Week 13 upset alert video. So far, Seattle did cover. They could have won that game. So what I was saying was kind of true, right? Oh, I'm going to take the Commanders +9.5. I didn't talk about this. I actually seen it at +10 on some sites. I didn't talk about this on the upset alert one. They play Miami, but the thing about Miami is they look good against the Jets, but the Jets offense is nothing. This Washington team can actually move the ball up and down the field. Now, can they defend people? Nah. But they can score, and Sam Howell has been very productive. He's been shown he can at least be a productive quarterback for a couple more years, at least from what we've seen for the first year as a starter. Very productive. But this is for really Riverboat Ron. His job is on the line in this game. If they're not competitive, you hear the comments what Matt Johnson was saying, right? And, he is part owner of this team, so he can make that choice with Jay Harris and end this boy out. I almost feel like he's going to be calling a lot of defensive calls because they did get rid of Del Rio and the defensive back coach. So I expect a lot of Riverboat Ron influence on the defense. So we're going to go with Commanders +10, 9.5, wherever you find that at. Now, I'll talk about this briefly because this is not an official bet, but the Lions and Saints game, the Saints are so inconsistent. That's why I was kind of told by my homie, don't even bet this team no more. Don't even pick this game when you see a Saints game. But this is a team where the Lions were, like I said, Dan Campbell knows New Orleans. Everybody from New Orleans is still there, minus Sean Payton. Pete Carmichael is still the offensive coordinator. Dennis Allen's the head coach and still calls the defensive plays. You know who was there too, right? Dan Campbell. You think you don't know these guys? Remember how I was talking about Daboll when he knew about Belichick? He knew about the Bills. And, he's 1 for 1, but 2-0 in the spread. I think it's -4. That's not overreacting on Thanksgiving game. That was a division rival. And I know New Orleans is a hostile environment, but you kind of have to still take that chance with the Lions because they've been battle tested, and I don't and the division for the South in New Orleans is very easy. As long as they pretty much win in their division, they should be fine. So that's a lean. That's not an official bet, but that would be a lean. The next one will be Houston Texans. I will be taking them to -3.5. Yes, the hook is scary. But this Denver team, let's be honest, bro, this offense isn't good. Russ hasn't been playing as good as people rave about and been talking about. The defense has been productive, but I want to see, can they go toe-to-toe offensively against CJ Stroud and that supposed to offense? The key for the Texans would be, can they stop the run? Because they are a good run defense. D'Amico Ryans has embedded that into that system. So you almost have to kind of wonder, will this team be good off that? And I believe they can, man. I mean, for real, because that's how Denver generates their offense. They do a lot of running, and then they hit you with a play action fake, and then you see Judy runs past you. I think they can avoid all of that. So I'm gonna go with the Texans to cover that one. And if you like a little slight underdog, we're gonna go with the Tennessee Titans on the money line against the Colts. Yes, it's the Colts. I just found out Jonathan Taylor is out. I didn't even know he was going to be out when I recorded Tuesday. I did not know that, but now we know. And the Titans play at home, and this is a spot for Vrabel where they play great at home. I think they find ways to get into Gardner Minshew in the backfield. I respect Zach Moss. I think he should be considered for a Pro Bowler. This is an unpopular opinion because he has been playing lights out, but this is a game where I believe the Titans do show up, and you got Jeffrey Simmons coming in the backfield too. Oh, bless me. But yeah, man, we're gonna go with the Titans. They play great at home. Every game they played at home, I almost feel like they've won. So we're gonna go with the Titans. They're a way better home team than a road team. And lastly, we're gonna go. This is something that I have not done. We're gonna go with the Packers Chiefs under 46. Yeah, primetime unders have been flying. We're going to take the chance to go with a primetime under on this one. Packers defense has been playing well. Chiefs defense is they're very underrated. I've been telling people that all year as well. I still expect the Packers keep this game close between the +6. If it gets balled up to +7, I'll probably take it to +7 with the Packers too. I don't think Patty will struggle, but they've been relying a lot more on the run game, a lot more to start their offense flowing. Then they throw a little, dumps to Kelsey. But I think the Packers can find a way to kind of, I'm not gonna say that you can't stop nobody, but they can kind of contain it a little bit. And the Chiefs, I already said, their defense is pretty solid. If the Packers run the ball, slow the clock, and run that clock to avoid Patty being on the field, I do think that helps in their nature. And you got to hope for turnovers, right? As long as it's not pick sixes and scooping scores, you should be okay. But you guys continue to like the content, subscribe, pass the word around. Look, 4 videos in 1 week. I don't think I've never done that. But yeah, man. Hope all is well. And let's get some motherfucking bread. You feel me?